Yo, what is up guys? Fred at Eastgate Unity here, back at you with another video. Today we are checking out the Extreme Bull Commander Mini. If you visit Alien Rides, you can get this Extreme Bull Commander Mini on sale for $25.99. It's also in stock and it ships the next business day. This electric unicycle is 134 volts. It's a 16-inch street tire, or if you want to, you can change it to a 16-inch knobby tire. This battery capacity is 2,400 watt hours, which is extremely impressive for such a small wheel at 16 inches. But it does unfortunately come at a cost at 88 pounds, which is very heavy for a 16-inch wheel. Now, this unicycle is a suspension wheel, so the suspension is 80mm travel, which does take up more weight as well. Now, they do come stock with front headlights, which are pretty damn bright. They also have this kind of amber tone to them, and I kind of like it. It reminds me of that JDM Honda Civic Type R kind of vibe. The unicycle does have a rear light as well. Once you turn on the unicycle, it stays strobing. There's no way to turn it off or make it a solid light. That doesn't bother me that much as long as I'm being seen by other cars. Now, this is what the stock pads look like. In my personal opinion, they are the ugliest pads I've ever seen in my entire life. But not only are they ugly in my opinion, they keep your legs really strapped in, which I don't like. A lot of uni riders like to be strapped in a lot for jumps. That's not me. I like to keep my legs moving around for carving and maneuverability. A lot of uni riders use those really strapped in pads because they want to be strapped in during jumps. I don't really do jumps with my unicycle. I keep that for my dirt bikes and quads. I also think these old school Begode pads just look a lot better. They're way more sleek. They're way better looking, and again, they keep my mobility with my legs so I can move around during carving. What I don't like about the top stock pads is this area right here. When I carve, my knee goes into the side of this, and it really hurts actually. So I looked up in the forums, and I said, what do I do for this part right here, because my knees bash to the side of this when I carve? And some people gave me a couple good tips. These pads on Amazon are really cheap. They have double-sided tape, so I put them on the sides where my knees hit, and it is about 60% better. But now that it's a little bit more comfortable, it sticks out a little further, which feels a little bit awkward. But it's a small price to pay. It's not that big of a deal. I just wish the stock pads up top were a lot softer out of the box. The stock pedals are adjustable, so you can rise them up and down, and you can also adjust the pedal angles as well. As you can see, I rise them up a little bit. That allows me to have a little bit resistance during carving, which I personally like. But that's what's good about adjustments. We all have our personal preference with our riding styles. Now, I also put some of those cheap pads up top where I sit, and it actually is quite comfortable. Now, the digital display isn't huge, but it's not tiny at all. You can clearly see the odometer, the miles per hour, and the battery. And the two buttons above that is the power button and then the option to change the lights. Then you have your trolley handle right here, which is pretty damn basic. I hear a lot of complaining online about this, but I don't understand it. Yes, it's not a high-end trolley handle. It's pretty flimsy, but it's just a handle. It's pretty easy to just maneuver your heavy electric unicycle around, even if it's a cheap trolley handle. For some reason, some people think it's harder to turn the wheel because it's a cheaper trolley handle, and I very much disagree. It's pretty dang simple to just turn this unicycle around with your hand. I even let go of my 4 fingers and just used my thumb right here and just gently kind of let the wheel drop and just guide it with your thumb. It's pretty damn simple. I don't know why people complain about this trolley handle. Now, the surrounding metal cages that are painted red and these rubber kickstands really protect the wheel a lot. I dropped the wheel at 2 miles per hour and these rubber kickstands really took the damage. So sooner or later when you do crash, the structural build of the wheel will be protected. Now let's charge this bad boy up and let's take it for a ride. Alright, so let's first talk about the tire. Just like with eSkate, I prefer tires with not a whole lot of tread patterns on there. And this is just like that. The agility on this tire is fantastic. I'm not even really a good uni rider, but with this tire, it gives me all the confidence in the world to ride more aggressive. The tire really sticks to the ground, great maneuverability, great turning radius, and just a whole lot of fun to ride. Now let's talk about the suspension. Now before I got this wheel, I did a lot of research and it seems like a lot of people were complaining that the suspension was too stiff. Now I very much disagree. However, I later on read that Alien Rides seemed to sell a little bit of a softer suspension batch for this wheel, and that's what I have. The latest batch with the softest suspension. Now, don't get it twisted, the suspension isn't too soft. You don't want it too soft. We don't realize when we're riding 20 miles to 50 miles per hour, there is a lot of crappy roads out there. And if you have too much spring and too much rebound heading your way to your body, you'll get thrown off. I'm 155 pounds and I felt it was perfect. I also had a friend of mine that rode it that was 180 pounds and he loved it as well. Now let's see how the suspension reacts to really bad roads, jumping off curbs, and of course, some off-roading. As for sitting riding, I've ridden about 20 or so unicycles, and this is probably the most comfortable out of the box. It has more of a flat platform on the top, so it's pretty comfortable to sit down and ride. Like I mentioned earlier, I bought those really cheap pads, and I just simply mounted them right up top where that flat part sits, and now it's just a pleasure to ride. As for range, I'm a 155 pound rider, and the few days I was riding it was about 39 degrees Fahrenheit. I got a total of 56 miles of range with this electric unicycle. So their advertised range of 60 miles on their retail website isn't really that far off. So a 16-inch wheel that's 134 volts with this great suspension and this comfort while riding sitting is just a really good bang for buck. Okay, giant hill test. We're gonna see how this uni performs on this giant hill. My higher performance boards do like 29 to 31 miles per hour up this hill. I'm not the greatest uni rider, but let's see how this handles this hill. Okay, rider app out. Let's do it. Check the rider app. 29.6 miles per hour up the hill. That's pretty damn good. Okay, I'm not the best rider, but let's do a brake test at like 15 miles per hour. 1, 2, 3, brake. Nice, good brakes. Okay, so this time I'm going to do a brake and acceleration test. 1, 2, 3, brake. Acceleration test. All right. All right, braking and then acceleration. 1, 2, 3, brake. Acceleration. Woo! All right, braking. 1, 2, 3, brake. Acceleration. Final thoughts. So if you are looking for a more nimble suspension wheel with a whole lot of range, good power, great suspension, and can really take any terrain you throw at it, I think this is an awesome bang for buck 16-inch suspension wheel under $2,600 from Alien Rides. Now, Alien Rides has a sister company called EUC Deals, and you can purchase these unicycles for a lot less money. However, if you're not mechanically inclined like me, they won't help you out with shipping the unicycle itself if you need it repaired. They'll simply ship you the parts that are covered under the manufacturer's warranty. So they will honor the manufacturer warranty, just no extra retailer's warranty, and you have to do the repair yourself with the parts they send you from the manufacturer. Now, there is one thing I don't like about the Commander Mini. To the left is a Commander Pro, and to the right is a Commander Mini. As you can see, the Commander Mini is just a little bit taller and obviously more narrow. It's a 16-inch wheel, so it has that narrower kind of stance, but it's also taller. I don't like that feeling in between my legs when I'm carving. I'd rather like that shorter stance that's a little bit more squared off and wider. I guess since I'm a shorter rider, having that taller and narrower feel between my crotch kind of feels unorthodox. When I rode the Commander Pro, I actually enjoyed it a little bit more. So this is just my personal preference. I figured it was worth mentioning. Thank you for watching, guys. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Have a good one, guys.